The camera in my laptop turned on by itself and showed me a room I was already in, part 1. The camera in my laptop turned on by itself while I was using it, and at first I thought it was just a glitch or some background app activating it without permission. But when I looked at the screen, it wasn't showing my face the way it normally does when the camera's on. Instead, it showed my room from a different angle, like the camera wasn't coming from my laptop at all. It was positioned higher, farther back, pointed toward me from somewhere behind where I was sitting, even though I knew there was nothing there. I turned around immediately, expecting to see something, anything that could explain it, but the space behind me was empty. No devices, no reflections, nothing that could have been capturing that angle, yet the feed on my screen stayed perfectly steady. I moved slightly in my chair, and the image on the screen updated in real time, showing me from that same impossible angle. It followed my movements exactly, except I wasn't looking at my laptop in the feed. I was looking slightly to the side, like I was focused on something else. I leaned closer to the screen, trying to understand what I was seeing, and that's when I noticed something off. The version of me in the camera feed wasn't moving at the exact same time I was. It lagged behind by a second, then caught up too smoothly. I tested it by raising my hand quickly. On the screen, I stayed still for a moment longer before lifting it, like the feed was delayed, but not in a normal way. It wasn't buffering. It was choosing when to match me. I closed my laptop immediately, but when I opened it again a few seconds later, the camera was still on, and the feed was still there, except now the angle had changed slightly, like whatever was recording me had moved closer without me noticing. I turned around again, slower this time, checking every corner of the room, but nothing had changed. Everything was exactly where it should have been, and yet the feed on the screen showed me sitting in a position I hadn't moved into yet. I looked back at the laptop, and the version of me on the screen slowly turned its head toward the camera, even though I was still facing forward, and that's when I realized it wasn't showing what I was doing. It was showing what I was about to do. Follow for part 2.